Hello crypto cats, my name is Tom, I am the crypto investor and it's time for our weekly market roundup. As ever, we start with a heat map of the top 100 tokens in crypto and it's green, which is nice. We have Ethereum up 6%, Bitcoin modest 2.7%. Big moves really in many of the other alternative layer ones. Luna bouncing back nicely up 18%. Near protocol is up 47%. This is now 18th by market cap and it has about, I think it's worth now about $12 billion. So quite substantial moves there, as with Phantom as well. Very, very similar. Doge pumping on the back of Elon accepting it. Atom, Cosmos up rather well as well. What we got here, DOT up 13% too. Let's get into the bubbles. Goodness me, Altera. So I don't really know too much about what that is. I just wanted to share what I do as the very, very, very kind of coarse filter check, which is I look up on Twitter and I follow about 1,000 people that I really respect on Twitter. And I see that no one is following them. So of all those people I respect, none of them have engaged of these 47,000. So that's where my search ends. And obviously it's not a perfect search, but as my very, very kind of coarse beginning of the filter of looking at stuff, it works. It stops, it's an efficiency thing. So it's not going to catch them all, but I just want to share that very simple thing I do. And at some point I'll share with you the list of everyone I follow on Twitter and you can make a Tom crypto list if you think that would be valuable. All right, where were we? So looking at the total value locked in chains, you can see that Terra Luna has made strides this week, up 22% in total TVL to 19 billion. Now, it was Binance Smart Chain that was number 2 after Ethereum. It has now really got some space between it, 4 billion ahead. So really substantial moves by Terra and really confirming why we are bullish on that L1. And then it's worth coming down and having a look at Phantom, 48%. Incredible. Adding another nearly 50% extra capital locked under that L1. Massive. And also, I'm not so familiar with Osmo, but please do your research on that. That could be very interesting because they're up 30%. And this is, DeFi Llama is a really useful high-level resource to understand what is going on. And we mentioned Near, of course. Near, number 29th by TVL, so still very, very, very small, really, when you consider it's up to 18th by market cap, but it only has 177 million locked in their protocol, but it's 50% up on the week. So, I mean, whether that means it's expensive, whether it's not really about total value locked with Near and something else, I don't know. Metis, up 320%. This is a very, very, very useful high-level resource to check out. Looking at layer 2s, and you can see that we have had a net 9% positive move almost for total value locked in layer 2s, Arbitrum continuing to lead the way. And there's Metis. So I'm going to check out Metis after this video. I'm learning alongside you as we do this. That's really interesting. They have increased the TVL on their L2 by 90%. What is Metis? What's going on there? Okay, so that was that. I just talked about that. So this week we got the CPI print. This was a significant date on Wednesday. This is obviously the rate of inflation. This means that your dollars are 7% less valuable than last year. And so it's important to understand this. And we're kind of glad that this came in. This is what analysts expected. 7% was right on the nose. And so the market kind of celebrated that we didn't have 7.5 or 8% inflation because, of course, they would have had to ramp up interest rates and that would have really weighed heavily on speculative investment assets like cryptocurrencies. So that was a big macro news event that we got. Interesting to see ETH. You may have noticed that gas fees have been ferociously high this week. And that obviously means that there's a lot of activity on Ethereum, which means that there's a lot of burn. After the merge, which we will get April-May time, this week's activity would have led to the supply of Ethereum dropping 4.5% in a week. These are dizzying numbers. I don't think anyone is really pricing in the deflationary impact that this merge is going to have once the mining is stopped on Ethereum. Ethereum continuing to be very, very, very cheap in my opinion. Ethereum is money. Ethereum has utility. Ethereum is becoming deflationary. Big, dizzy numbers. All right. If you watched my video last week, I talked about the airdrop from Lux Rare. If you haven't seen it, watch it. If you've done free Ethereum of volume on OpenSea, then you were entitled to some Lux tokens. I got 1,500, which was worth $5,000. Thank you, magical internet money. I believed in this project, so I didn't flip it. In fact, I bought more at $1.80, and it's already up to $4.20, another 16% today. It's a decent token. So this is extraordinary. If you're not familiar, if you trade NFTs, OpenSea is obviously where, 90% of the total volume is happening. Completely dominates the market. And OpenSea is worth $13 billion as a company. Lux, their token price puts it about $40 million or so. And they did more volume than OpenSea. And they are giving 100% of the revenues on the trading to the users, to the holders of the token. So if you stake your Lux token on luxrare.org, you earn wrapped Ethereum and you earn Lux. They've paid me over $1,000 this week. I earned 0.2 Ethereum this week based on volume on their platform. And so this is classic Web3. The more that you are, it's effectively profit sharing with the people. It's massive. And so let's see if this trend continues. But of course, you're going to choose to operate with a platform that shares profits with people and yourself. Amazing. Right. FTX launched a $2 billion Web2 venture fund. This is good for tokens like POKT. And also Rio de Janeiro to hold 1% of the city's reserves in Bitcoin, if you didn't see this. And they're also giving away a 10% discount to people that pay their taxes in Bitcoin. So we've seen Miami doing things like this. Rio's now doing like this. This is the game theory. Like, how much does this benefit the city once we see, within a certain amount of time that Rio is significantly benefiting from it? How many other cities, states, countries follow? It's significant. Tesla are accepting Dogecoin, joke currency Dogecoin, says the BBC, for their products. So I think it's like Tesla t-shirts and stuff. I don't believe it's for cars at this stage, but Doge has rallied on the back of that. So if you haven't been watching my videos about POKT Network, really, really go and do so. I've been in crypto for 8 years and no project has lit me up to the extent that POKT Network has. I have had people asking if I'm affiliated and getting paid by POKT. I'm not. I'm very much impartial, trying to be impartial, but I am obsessed by this this project. One, because of their profits. This is the total revenue every day that POKT is making, and it works with every single, 21 different blockchains, and it'll be 35 within a month. It's extraordinary. This is basically like Cloudflare or Amazon Web Services for blockchains, for Web3. And at the moment, they support all of these different blockchains, but Harmony are the ones that are producing the lion's share of the income. So you can see it was Ethereum, but Harmony have really started leaning on this as a decentralized relay solution for them to get basically API data. It's part of the tech stack of blockchain. I don't know, it's deep tech stuff. But anyway, you can see that Harmony is accounting for significant amounts of the income. And this, for me, was a big alpha drop. So this is, I think, in their GitHub or something, or a press release within Harmony. And you can see that they were sending 2% of Harmony's blockchain traffic to POKT. And then by this weekend, so basically today, they were looking to increase that to 5%. So over 100%, 150% or so increase in the traffic. And this just shows how early we are with POKT. If you consider that this is how much of the blockchain is leaning on it, and how much revenue it's generating, and less than 1% of Ethereum, less than maybe 0.1% of Ethereum's relays are going through POKT, which is the market leader for a decentralized solution in this space, then we're so early. We're so early. And we now have a agreed market cap of POKT. So actually we're in the charts. So you can see that POKT is now coming in at 81st with a total market cap of 1.7 billion. And the token price has been doing very well this week as it's now available on some exchanges. It was over-the-counter only, but you can now buy POKT on Huobi and Gate.io, and I believe there is a big announcement coming this today, perhaps, and many people think that it's going to be Binance or Coinbase that we have as an exchange, or maybe they are releasing their wrapped POKT token, which will sit on Ethereum. But it just goes from strength to strength. I've never seen a project like it. The team, the community, the product, the revenues, it's sensational. Anyway, I promise you I'm not affiliated in any way with it. This is big. PayPal are looking to create a stable coin. We don't yet know what blockchain they would be creating it on, whether they'd even use their own blockchain, or if not, probably they'll go for the most decentralized and secure, so they would put it on Ethereum or Ethereum rollup, one would imagine. But this is another huge feather in the cap of crypto, and another, PayPal, I imagine, lobby to the US government and to Congress, and so it's just strengthening this whole space. Significant news, in my opinion. Okay, if you don't own Dydx, DPX, really, this is my third largest holding, and I really strongly suggest you do your own research and check it out. Oh, by the way, please press like. That's it. Yep, there, that like and subscribe and comment. I don't know who's watching Crypto Cats. I'd like to know if you get any value out of this. Anyway, Dydx is a options trading platform, and you don't really have that much in the way of options trading happening at the moment. It's still quite niche and small, but Dydx are one of the best out there. You can also look at Lyra. They're pretty cool too, and there's obviously a few others. But this is Dow Jones options. This is basically, from what I understand, this will sit on top of Dydx, and you will see people who place options portfolios, and you can kind of back them and copy them, from what I understand. I may be misconstruing it, but either way, Dydx has been chosen for it. Dydx revenues are impressive. It's a very, very strong token. I think it's still quite small. Well, it's had so much growth recently. 153rd, but yeah, still cracking token. You can stake. It's on Arbitrum. You can stake it, claim your rewards without paying very much gas at all. And they actually have their reward token, RDPX, which at the moment, is if you make a liquidity token. So that's 282nd. This one's done so well in the last week. If you make a liquidity token with Ethereum and RDPX, I'm sure you can find videos that will show you how to do that. They pay you 240% per annum to do so. So that's a really good way of stacking RDPX. Well, in fact, it's just been helping me stack Ethereum because it's been outstripping the performance of Ethereum. Okay, where were we? Dydx, if you aren't using them, if you are in the game of leverage, Dydx is the place to do it. It's fantastic. And they are moving to a fully decentralized, again, web-free strategy. So they are no longer going to have revenues going to Dydx trading. They're all going to be going to the token holders. Obviously, they own a good amount of tokens. So the incentive, just like with Lux Rare, is significant. But this obviously helps really improve token rewards. The only question I have around Dydx is that they've only released about 10% of the total supply, so there's still huge amounts of liquidity to come into the market, but it's one of those ones to just be stacking long term, in my opinion, and they pay you very handsomely if you use their protocol. It's a really, really slick and impressive system. I don't do much in the NFT space, but just worth mentioning, I've not heard of him, probably quite a big name guy, Osmary. He's basically bought World of Women, and lots of other celebrities have started using World of Women as their NFT, as their avatar, and it's suddenly gone from like 2 ETH floor to 9 ETH, and that's moving quite significantly if you're into that. And I think I've mentioned in the past quite a few times, in fact I've done videos on this, but if you don't yet know about index co-op and you're looking for a very passive approach to investing, you want some exposure to DeFi, you want some exposure to Metaverse, then you can use their aggregated like ETFs. And so the DeFi Pulse Index means you're holding all of these tokens under one token. their Metaverse token MVI means you're holding all of these tokens under one token. It's just a nice, easy set and forget approach. Just reminding you about this. I'm not affiliated to any of this, just trying to help out. All right, let's jump into the charts, crypto cats. So first and foremost, let's start with the total market cap of crypto. You can see that we've had this positive week. I mean, it's not a life changer, but we found support where we expected to find support, as everyone was very worried, and we're not out of the woods yet, but it's looking a lot brighter than it was. We've had a 10% bounce off this major trend line. Net inflows into Bitcoin have gone up, so the whales are accumulating once more, which is great to see. Always pay attention to the big boys. That's the signal. And yeah, hopefully we build on this. But, we're still on a little bit shaky ground. But, I mean, I'm a permeable. You know how optimistic I am. But looking good. I wouldn't be surprised to see us build upon this. Really, we need to see the total market cap take out this 2.4 trillion, which has been a resistance line. You can see 3 out of the 4 attempts effectively. So wouldn't be surprised to see us in the next couple of weeks come up and test this. And that's a break of that. And I think we're straight up back up to all-time highs. Bitcoin has crossed the $42,000 mark, which had been a significant sell wall, really, for Bitcoin. And so that's nice to see it above 42. We can get the weekly close here about 43 or so. That would be nice. Again, a foundation for us to build upon. This is not a reversal candle by any stretch of the imagination, but it's good to have a positive week. It's good to see that support is coming in here. Again, you can see resistance, 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 support. Resistance always flips to support. Well, not always, but typically it's a very useful tool to be aware of. I think for me, you can see that this has clearly been a significant downward trend line that we've been selling into. Now, really, it's a battle of this upward trend line versus this downward trend line. We're into that kind of pennant wedge, and a break of here sees us probably move straight up to 50,000 or so, waiting to see other resistance is going to come in. But overall, I'm feeling pretty optimistic about that, looking decent. Taking a look at the ETH chart, let's just put this onto the weekly. Again, very, very similar trend line, very correlated, all of it. We bounced nicely. We found good support coming in at 3,000. We did go below 3,000 momentarily, but it offered a wonderful buying opportunity for those who were brave enough to lean in. Obviously we know that we need to be greedy when others are fearful. And, when there's maximum fear in the market, you've got to have maximum greed. And yeah, I said in my last video that 3,400 is the alert that I have set, and that's exactly where we came up to and found resistance. So waiting for that close above 34,000, and again above this kind of downward trend line as well. So still slightly shaky, but starting to turn. Looking at the ratio between Ethereum and Bitcoin, we've had a bounce. ETH has had a positive week of 3% versus Bitcoin. As risk taking comes back into the market. Needs to get back. This is the 50% flippening mark, so the half of the market cap of Bitcoin. Need to get back above here, but again, starting to show that support. DeFi up versus the US dollar, but we want the DeFi versus ETH, that depressing old chart. And you can see that we've had this downward trend line forever, and now we're above it. And maybe this is a bit of a reversal. As I said, token incentives with providers like Yearn Finance are changing, and I think maybe we're just starting to see a bit of a bottoming out in the DeFi tokens. So pay attention to this. This could be a break to the upside. Looking at the Metaverse tokens versus Ethereum, they are doing well. They've done well. Like, being valued in Ethereum is really tough to get a green candle against. And they are, they're holding up pretty strong. So Metaverse tokens continuing to show a lot of buoyancy. That's that index that we were just showing you. Okay. Shorts in Bitcoin are going up. I kind of welcome this. If there are shorts and then they get squeezed and people have to cover their shorts, then we get a short squeeze and potentially a pop-up. So We will see, but I think that these bears may well be in somewhat of trouble. Looking at Luna, solid week. As I said in my last video, when the market drops, people buy a lot of Terra Luna, and that pushes up the price of Luna, and we've had a 35% candle for Luna top to bottom, looking like it's going to have another pop at that $100 and continue to go from strength to strength. So let's just look at, this is the total supply of UST, their stable coin. And of course, the more of this that's bought, the more Luna that's burnt. It's just a very, very nice flywheel. Strong. And just wanted to look at the dominance of, first let's look at Bitcoin dominance. Hadn't checked this before. So Bitcoin dominance looking to have its lowest close since 2018 as we stand. I'm recording this on Sunday afternoon, so it's looking like the lowest ever close for Bitcoin dominance. The world has changed. The blockchain world has changed. It's no longer just simply a store of wealth. It's so much more. And so, of course, this is going to go down, my dear Bitcoin bulls. ETH dominance not looking too strong. ETH dominance continuing to, when we look at the TVL, no, not this. When we look at the TVL of these other blockchains, this is ETH dominance, this gray area, and you can see that, of course, we're moving to a multi-chain world, and so ETH's dominance is going to struggle to keep up as 20% of the total market cap, and it's that multi-chain world that makes me so bullish on POKT. It makes it just such an easy asymmetrical investment. Looking at those winners, so as I said, Near One has had a storming week. Near Protocol is up to 0.6% of the total market. Do we have Phantom on here? Yeah, Phantom also up to 0.4%. These are what are taking that little bit of market share away from ETH, these alternative layer ones. And that's it, really. That is it, Crypto Cats. I hope you found it useful. I will try and get some more videos out to you. I said I'll do one about Pocket Pool. This is not financial advice. I am just a guy on the internet. Please do your own research, all right? And happy investing, and I'll speak to you soon. All the best. Take care.